Hey everybody, I'm Rick, that's Pete. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily
Howdy,
fix of
howdy.
Blue Blanc Rouge. Say hi, Pete. No, you were saying
Hello, everybody.
All right, so this is now, it's the Wednesday show. What do I call it? Wednesday night show. That's the name of Wednesday for now, because I think membership drive and all that. Nah. It doesn't work anyway, and I for some reason I like the simplicity of call. I thought of it today, the Wednesday night show. It's simple and I like it, so that's what we got. All right, what are we gonna do tonight? I got a bunch of things. There's a lot of news. I would have saved it for tomorrow, but I feel weird being on here tonight and not talking about the stuff. There's a lot of shit. Nothing big, but there's some NHL stuff, and so we could talk about that. Obviously, we want to hear what you guys have to say about that. And we're expecting our co-host maybe to show up with us. So we might have Matt here with us. And we'll just do that for like an hour and have some fun. And, anything you guys want to talk about, in the chat, just let us know. Let's see who is here. Habs Guru. Hey, Guru, how you doing, man? Thanks for being there. Go Habs, go. Pierre Richard. How's it going, buddy? I want to apologize to you because last night when I was thanking everybody at the end, I forgot your name, and I want to apologize because you were new and I was thanking all the new people. So thanks for being here tonight, and welcome back. And Pete is here in the chat and on screen. Nice. Hit the like button, folks, and join us in a membership. It's still, you want to take a membership, it's right down there. If you want to donate money to the channel, there's a $sign. If you do donate money or take a membership, you do get into the draw when we do a draw to give away stuff. And we just did one. There'll be another one really soon. And so if that happens, we do that. And what else we do? What else we do, Pete? Here.
We talk about all kinds of wonderful things, don't we?
It's not like Seinfeld here, where it's like a show about nothing.
Just have some fun.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Anyway. We definitely try to do that.
We stand the man. Stand the man's in.
Good evening,
Rick and Peter.
Stand the man. You read it. You read it. Read it.
You want me to read it? Okay, good
evening,
go Rick and Peter. Now that Struble is signed, I think it would be benefit him to play in Laval and experience a playoff hockey.
I have news for you on that. I got news for you on that one. So the Habs signed Jaden Struble today to a 2-year ELC contract, so entry level. Now, Struble will be 22 before September 15th. It's something in the CBA that when that happens, you're eligible. Well, when you're 22 or 23, you have no choice. You have to sign only a 2-year ELC. That's why he can't come to Montreal. And so what they did was they signed him to an AHL contract. He'll be joining the AHL Laval Rocket, and he'll be spending the rest of the season with the Rocket. He will not be coming up to Montreal because his ELC doesn't start till next year. So there you go. That's the news I got on that. Hey, old man. Hey, filibuster, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Struble won the hand strength combine thing. Yeah, they call him, I think his nickname is Adonis. He's a Greek god, an exercise kind of freaky kind of guy. He is Truckosaurus hand. He has Truckosaurus hands? Or what? Lana from Archer? I don't watch Archer. It's a show. I don't watch it though. But yeah, he both hands. He won the strength at the combine when he was drafted.
Wow.
I guess because he's drafted 4 years ago. So he's out. He did all 4 years in college. He had the option to not sign with Montreal and then be a free agent after August 15th. He chose to sign to Montreal because Kent Hughes was his agent. So it's not a surprise that he's signing with Montreal, really. It's not in the end. It's not. No. Does that mean they won't trade him in the long run? I don't think it means they won't. But I'm not shocked at all that they signed him and this is what's happening with him. That's what I say. All right, so let's do a couple things I've got, and we'll talk about each one. Just a few things. Here's the first one. Lane Hudson is Hockey East's Rookie of the Year.
Yes,
I don't think that's a surprise either. There's also didn't get the story, like a picture, but Lane Hudson and Sean Farrell are the 10 finalists. They're down to 10 finalists right now for the Hobie Baker Award, and those two guys are both in the that running. They'll narrow it to 3, and obviously a 1, I believe. But yeah, Sean Farrell and Lane Hudson, top 10 in college, I guess. In the college ranks, they're top 10.
Yep.
You know, how long has it been? And I don't even know I could say this has ever happened where those kind of guys are Habs prospects and not, oh, these are guys that are up and coming. We didn't get them, but they're up and coming. You know what I mean? There are guys and they're top players all over the place. So
yeah,
it was good.
What's shocking is if you go back, even we were pretty dominant in the 70s.
Pretty,
we had good
pretty dominant.
depth.
Not bad, just pretty, you know, somewhat.
Yeah, just kind of dominant. Let's just
Sorry,
call it kind of dominant.
Sorry, Pete.
No, but getting back to that, you know, like we had good team depth, but we didn't have a lot of overall depth like we do today. I mean, you can't compare. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, it's very different systems. Eh? It was very different systems. So, but I know what you mean. You didn't have that same that we knew all of those prospects and knew them well and all that, right? We didn't have that. Where today we know everybody that they draft. We know the draft. We watch the draft. You didn't do that back in the 70s.
No, and we're so strong. Like, you know, you mention a couple of kids here and there, and then you stop and think about it, and then you got to think some more, and it's like, oh shit, well, I forgot to mention this kid, and this kid, and this kid. You've got enough to form another bloody NHL team eventually with the amount of choices we have down south.
Well, that's the point, right? That those guys will be on the roster. Exactly. And it's not even a case you can look at it and say, these guys will be on the roster. There's a bunch of them, right? And not maybe 1 or 2, and then who knows who they'll sign and all that kind of shit. They're starting to develop guys, drafting well and developing them, and they're starting to come onto the team.
It's all starting to pay dividends.
Yep.
Like it should. This is how it should be done.
And, it is how it should be done.
And, you know, like we're going to have continued success throughout the years, the way things are going right now. And I'm just super, super excited to see what this team's going to look like in 5 years, 7 years.
Well, you're looking at, you know, to me, you're looking at they'll probably start to be good in the next 2 or 3 where we can say they'll make the playoffs. And then you're looking at 10 years of solid success, making the playoffs every year, doing good in some years, not as well other, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I think winning a cup or 2 in the next 10, 12 years. Like for sure a cup in the next 10 years. I think they'll get there. I like the way the coaching is, the way they're drafting. If they keep this up, I don't see how this team doesn't, you know, win a cup. You know, I just don't see how they don't.
We just, you know, like we're so excited, and we've taken care of the farm, and we've done it so well. Now Molson has also got to, you know, step up with that pocketbook and make sure that we don't lose the Hughes and the Gortons and all the people that they've brought in, like the Le Cavaliers and all that kind of shit. We can't afford to lose that.
Well, you know, this is how it should work, right? With their success comes their stability, I guess, for their jobs, right? So I think you'll see some, you know, some stability in the front office and you know, in the training room and stuff like that, with the success of the team, because that's what's happened here before, even when they weren't really successful, but not management. But you know, when they're successful, they keep these guys around.
Yeah.
You know, until the drop off happens, which happens for everybody, right?
Exactly. Like, I don't want to lose Hughes. I mean, that he's working magic. He's doing such a great job.
I think between the two of them, but I do say Hughes is definitely not the puppet we assumed the GM would be. There's no way, right? There's no
chance. No way.
Yeah. Phil asks you a question.
Nope.
Or me, I don't know. It's both. So does Peter dance, sing? Like, what's his artistic angle?
Well, Philip, what's my artistic angle? I drink.
He drinks. He knows a lot about cars, trucks, brakes. Hey, there's you know, Maybe we'll do live streams on that stuff. You never know. You never know. What is Pete? What's his talent? He's a nice guy and he knows how to talk hockey.
I
That's
just
his
love hockey.
talent.
Yeah.
And he shows up every night when he's supposed to.
And just say hi to my wife. Hi, wife.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Habs Guru says Jack Eye versus Struble for hand strength at camp. That should be interesting. Having if like I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where Struble fits in exactly. This is the thing, right? Right now, he's the flavor of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know where he fits in. We'll find out. But at camp,
he's definitely going to have to step up his game if he wants to compete.
I think so, because the guys that are already here are pretty top notch right now. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. The Habs need to sign Markov to manage the power play next year. I know we've talked about that.
That's what I've said. How many times?
And listen, Markov's a coach. I don't mind the idea, except the power play. Yeah, so I don't mind that idea at all. The problem I see is only this: if you're bringing Markov, how does that work with Robida being the defensive coach? Markov was a defenseman. Maybe there's something to work out there, but I like the idea. There's not even a word has been spoken from people in the know about it, though. That's what nothing.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing.
I
like the idea.
But could you imagine? That guy, he was a power play quarterback for how many years? Oh.
Yeah, you get him to work with your power play quarterbacks. And, hey, listen, you know what? If Molson wants to put the money, so it's a salary. But if it makes you a winner, I think it's worth it for.
For sure.
Anyway, I don't sign the paychecks, so I don't know.
No.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next thing that I've got. This is an interesting item. So that's right there, and you see in the back, if you can see this is a school in Slovakia, and sitting right there in the back under that, I don't know what it says there, is Juraj Slavkovsky. He's gone back to Slovakia. What he's doing is he's finishing his not high school classes, but the exams. He's taking his high school exams, and he's getting that done. And good on the kid, because he's making enough money. He could think, I don't need it, but good on the kid to go back and finish it up. He's got the time, being injured. So, anyways, that's something that was out there. What do you think about that, Pete?
You know what that shows is he is a man that is not going to leave anything left undone. He's going to finish whatever he starts.
Responsibility.
Exactly.
And that can translate onto the ice, right? Because what do we talk? They talk about a lot is your responsibility. Whatever. I'm not wording it right now, but responsibility is mentioned a lot. And it's a good characteristic. So I thought that was interesting.
That makes me so proud to see him there doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, and I had this.
Not too big for him now.
I had this. I just wanted to show it because that's the official word on the 2-year ELC for Jaden Struble. We talked about it. That's all I've got for showing. Let's see what the boys in the channel think about Slav going back there. And Phil says Markov busy as an ex. He's an ex-general after all. I believe he's married to a Montreal girl, or his girlfriend when he left here was from Montreal.
Yeah.
That was a serious relationship too.
Yep.
So I don't know. To me, Markov coming back to Montreal in other ways than just, that for the power play makes sense. But we'll see what happens with that. You never know. That could turn into an actual real story. Hang on a sec. I have to do something.
Here it comes.
Pretty obvious about that tonight, aren't I? Hey, Bob, how's it going, man? Bob Cannon in the house.
Jesus.
Lucas. Hey, Lucas. How you doing, man? 3 nights in a row. Well, it's Wednesday. There was nothing going on. And I don't know. I felt like coming in. I love you back, buddy.
Habs Guru's got a little comment there. Does Markov have hard feelings about the way his NHL career ended? No, I don't think he does.
I think that's a good question, though. I don't know. I don't have any proof he doesn't. But I don't have any proof he doesn't, though.
No, he wasn't happy.
Yeah, but did it last? Yeah, no, good. I kind of think, even if you had maybe a little bit, it's different management now. And if they asked him to come back, you got to think he'd at least consider it anyway.
I think he'd give it a good, strong look.
You got to think.
Very strong look. I can't even begin to imagine what the power play would look like with him running it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Wait till we get there.
Yeah.
Hey, Elio, how you doing, man? Good to see you. What's up? What's up? I'm from Cheers. My nipples in a cold wind. That's from George on Cheers. You know what? Every time someone asks me that in there, that goes through my head. I don't say it. I think it's the first time I said it. But yeah, that's how my brain works. Markov's issue was with Bergevin, which what I said, it's different. It's a different management. I don't think he'd have any issue. He doesn't have an issue with the fans or the city. And like I said, management changed. So why would he have an issue, right? So maybe, like I said too, because we're talking about it and I'm not seeing anything from official people, that doesn't mean that's not going to change. And
exactly,
because it could happen. I said no. Did I say nipple? Was that what I said?
Zipple.
I said ripple. Like the chips. That's what I said. All right, moving on. The NHL salary cap. It's going to go up by just $1 million, which is very disappointing for next season, but could get bumped up, said Commissioner Gary Evilman. By how much remains unknown at the moment, though. But he's kind of going, and I think how he put it, I saw a picture of him going, and it was from a press conference, so that's why I call him Gary Evilman. But yeah, it's only going to go up $1 million, and it's unlikely to go up much more. Whether he's serious about it, I think what they're waiting on is when the final count and they know exactly what the revenue was from this season, which will happen in the middle of the summer, I guess. And then they'll know whether they can bump it up. I guess that's what they're saying. See what happens with that. But that's out there. What do you think of that, Pete?
I was just looking at a few things here, and I would just like to hit on this. There's a gentleman on here, Grant McCagg. I'm sure everybody's heard of him. McCaggis. I don't know if anybody else can access it, but there's a place called Recruits.
Yeah, Recruits, but that's a pay. You got to
pay to get in there. Does anybody out there have any idea of what this data looks like? I was just.
What's it about? You didn't say.
It's saying that Gurianov, Ylonen, RHP, Pezzetta, Pitlick, and Belzile are all auditioning for spots on next year's lineup. Here's an in-depth look at who may be in Montreal's forward lineup in opening night next October. And I know it's speculation. And I hate speculation, but I would sure love to see this data.
If people out there don't know who Grant McCagg is, it's actually interesting. He is a former scout for Montreal. I don't know for how many years he was here. He has a site called recruits.com, I think it is. And he writes about the draft and hockey and the teams and a lot about the Habs. Last season before the draft, he was one of the only people saying for a long time that Montreal will be drafting Yuri Slafkovsky. I even said something to him like, you're crazy. And he didn't turn out to be crazy. So, nope. I mean,
he was bang on.
Yeah, he was bang on. And but he's trying. I mean, he's trying to get new people. He's running a business, but it's a pay thing. So if anybody has it, and can sort of forward us somehow a copy of what he's writing, that would be great.
Or even just yeah.
I mean, it's not expensive, Recruits, but at the time when I thought of doing it, I don't know. I didn't hit it off with him. I asked him. I was hoping to get him to not necessarily sponsor us, but I'll promote your channel, all that stuff. And he was not. He was kind of snarky about it. So
yeah. So I apologize for bringing that up. I didn't want to lose it, so I thought I'd just put it out there and see if any of
Yeah.
our fan base has an idea of what is going on there.
It's his predictions. I mean, he's a scout, so it's his predictions of what he thinks, the Habs are going to do, who's going to still be around.
It's just for a scout, that's a really hard job. And the past little while, he's been able to really call it, like what's going to happen and when.
Yeah, I personally thought he was full of shit with the Slavkovsky stuff, but I have to admit, I've seen him be right a few times on a few things, and he's got my respect as far as that he knows what he's talking about. He's not always going to be 100% right.
No,
but you can read this guy and his opinions and have some respect for them, because I mean, he was right on, and for the reasons that he gave as well, not just the pick, but he gave the reasons. I mean, he's a scout. I just thought he was like, people
it just
were making
makes me
fun
wonder, how is he getting such accurate information?
He took a beating on Twitter about that stuff. He took a beating, and he was right. And I don't know. I might have apologized to him. I might not have. I don't know.
I remember posting on his site and doing the big, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. And then I did abruptly after the draft apologize.
Yeah, because he was right on, and he was saying it not even like 2 weeks before. He was saying it like for a while.
Months. He was saying it for
a couple of months probably before, at least a month and a half before. He was on Slavkovsky as the pick for sure. Yeah.
Oh, so
anyways, we gave McCaga what do you call that? Damn it, can't think of what I'm calling it.
Oh, we gave him a bit of a boost, did we? Yeah.
No, there's a word for it, and I can't think of a goddamn word for it. All right, moving on to the next thing then. Unless you guys want to talk about the salary cap, but I mean, somebody did. Bob says part of the problem with the lack of cap increase is still the huge escrow amount. Yeah, I know that. It's over 100 million. No, I get that. I get that's the reason. But they were saying that he kind of early in the season was saying kind of he thought that was going to get paid off. That's changed now. So I don't know. I think he just wants to look good by coming in after and going, yeah, we're going to bump it up another $1.5 million on top of the 1 million just to look, so it'll look good. Yeah.
Stan brings up a little bit of what we were talking about last night, the Carter Hart stuff.
I just want to say hi to Jethro McSheepherder, one of my favorite names. I've been busy and missed games since and your shows, but I am here tonight. Awesome. Good to see you again, Jethro. Like I said, one of my favorite names. Kind of like Bodie McBoderson. It just reminds me of Bodie McBoderson. Don't ask me why. So Stan does say there are rumors of Carter Hart being traded to Montreal. Would it make sense to do the trade after the season, the end of the season? Here's something interesting. Pete, remember before the show, I said I was listening to a podcast. Mm-hmm. It was a Philadelphia Flyer podcast. And there was a guy on there that was pretty like a name. I've heard of him before. He's a guy that does this kind of stuff and knows like in Philadelphia. And he was saying that he doesn't think they're going to move him. Why? They need to move cap. He doesn't make that much in grand scheme of things. And he doesn't think that he's going to be the guy that gets moved to make the cap space. So I don't know. Rumors being what they are, it doesn't really, it's just a rumor. It's probably not going to happen. So that's something I just heard today. Does it mean it won't happen? I don't know.
No.
Daniel Briere's making the decisions now. So I don't know what it means. But they got to move cap. They like here in Montreal, too many contracts that they got to get rid of. And it doesn't make sense to move Carter Hart before you do that. And he made a point too of he's young enough that if you do the rebuild right, he'll still be young enough to be your goalie. So I don't know that he's, the seriousness of a rumor like that, That's my opinion. What do you say?
No, they do need to offload cash, but, they also need to get some draft picks and whatnot as well. So moving Carter Hart does make some sense. Especially if you're going to do a big rebuild. I don't know what kind of a rebuild they're going to do.
That's it. I mean, that's the unknown, right? That's part of the unknown.
And there we go with speculation again, right? So
Right,
it's
but
hard to
that's what it
say.
is. It's too speculative right now to really have an opinion. I don't know. I don't know.
But like we were talking last night, a second round pick and a third round pick for Carter Hart, I think is a
Probably.
fair deal.
He's still going to be RFA, so he got control. So yeah, he could get
Yeah.
something like that. Although a lot of times goalies don't get you what you think they're going to.
No.
So that might speak to why they wouldn't maybe trade him. Right.
Yeah. And haven't his numbers dropped a little bit this year as well?
He's a kind of up and down guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's an up and down kind of a guy. But
He
he's
owns
coming
us
into.
whenever we play against him.
He's not in his prime yet. He's not. I mean, there's a lot of upside to a Carter Hart. I mean, I gotta admit that, right?
Yeah.
And Lucas says being. I'm not sure how you worded that, but I know it's a typo. Seeing the Carter Hart stuff, I'm going to say that's what you were writing there. Who are we giving for him? Or is he a free agent next season? He'd be an RFA if his contract's up. I believe he is. He's an RFA either next season or the season after.
I think it's the season after.
Yeah, I think so. So, but he's young enough that, he could be here through the rebuild and beyond for sure. But, I don't know if there's a deal there. Habs Guru brings up something. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not mentioning it there. I wrote this. Philadelphia Flyers, since we're speaking of them, GM and former Hab Daniel Briere's kid, Carson, is stupid, malicious, and a freaking dickhead. And buy the girl a new wheelchair, you piece of shit. Pete doesn't want to talk about this, so Pete doesn't have to talk about this. Guru says Briere's kid in trouble. Did I see what he did? I did see what he did, and I'm disgusted by it. And there's no room in this world for people like that. I don't mean that he should be killed or anything like that, but that's what we don't need in this world is people like that, especially when they're young. It's going to grow up to be just a big dickhead. And the apology they gave was just whatever. Anyway, I did want to mention that. So, but I know Pete doesn't want to talk about it. It makes him angry. It makes me angry. But you'd think a kid like that knows better. Anyway, let's move on because I just wanted to say that. I didn't know if anybody would make a comment. All right. What do I have? Before we get to the next comment, I don't have much left. Draft lottery. I'm losing my voice. Draft lottery will be May 8th at 7 p.m. Pete booked May 8th at 4 p.m. Well, we're going to do a live stream. There's no doubt. So, just so you know, if you're wondering, and you can book it off because we're going to do a live stream if you want to be there. Draft day. So the actual draft starts. Round 1 is June 28th, and obviously the rest of the rounds are on the 29th. That's it. I don't got anything else, so we can just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And Pete, you got any ideas to throw in? You said you had some things there, didn't you?
No, I was just Stan the man. He's talking about signing Gurionov. Sorry for all the questions. Don't apologize for the questions.
Sorry for questions. We want questions.
We need questions. That's what we thrive on is the questions. Yes. And about signing Gurionov, how can you not? They have to sign him. I wouldn't go to what is he at right now?
2.9. If they don't sign him, to a contract, they got to qualify him, and that's 2.9 million, right? That's a lot. If they sign him to a cup 2-3 years or something like that, they can bring that down and whatever, and they don't have to qualify him then.
No, I think depending on how he finishes out this season, so far so good. Touch wood.
Yeah.
He's playing very well. He's playing very hard. He's not just floating out there like I've seen him in Dallas.
And you see the emotion when he scores.
Yeah,
he's invested.
Yeah. Well, it's all kids around his age. He doesn't have Grandpa Ben telling him how to do it, where to do it, when to do it.
Yeah. I think he's got some freedom.
It's a completely different aura in the Montreal dressing room, so to speak. It's it's going to be good for him. They will sign him. I'm sure of it. If they don't, I'm sure they'll have their reasons why, right?
I mean, yeah, but I said this to you when the trade happened, right? The fact that there were no draft picks changing hands
They
tells
signed
you
him.
that they're planning to keep him. He's
Yeah.
an RFA, so they
We
have
just need to
control.
see him prove it.
Yeah, that's right. If as long as he's
Show us
doing
that you want
well,
the money.
he'll. I think they were planning to sign him, but what are they going to pay him? Right? How does he do? How does he fit? That's going to have a say in what they sign him to.
Yeah.
So far so good. He's got 3 goals here and 1 assist, 4 points. In 7 games, it's not bad. Or 9 games.
He's got more points in 9 games than he did in 43 games with Dallas.
No, he had 9 points in those games. He had only 9 points over there, but it's a better ratio, I think.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's scoring at a better pace here.
You know what I meant, God damn it.
No, not necessarily.
You read my mind.
Jethro says, I heard Slavkovsky could be dangled to trade up for Bedard on draft day. Would you trade Slavkovsky for Bedard? No, I think it's the other way around. Would you trade Bedard for Slavkovsky? And that's, I think, you got it the wrong way. And the answer to that is no.
Nope.
Right? The answer to that is no. So think of it that way. And does it make any sense that the team that has the number 1 pick is going to trade Bedard for what? For what? That it makes sense. To me, it doesn't. So, hey, BL, how you doing, man? Been a hell of a day. What's up tonight? I'm sorry to hear you had a bad day. We're just talking. We're just talking about shit. We're just talking about shit. Why would Philly move Carter Hart? He doesn't make the big bucks yet, and are they flush with goaltenders in their system or something? I mentioned that they need to move out money and Carter Hart doesn't make the big money, and you're right. And they still have him for another year, and he's an RFA after that, so it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And like I said, BL, if they did want to do it, it would be to gain draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, it just still doesn't make sense that I don't think it makes sense for him to do it. Bob corrected us. He has 4 goals and 1 assist in 9 games. Gurianov, even better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a kid that he scored 20 goals before in the league, so he can score.
He can do it.
Yeah, and you're looking at 4 goals in the 9 games. I don't know what that pace is, but that's up there with that, and probably better than 20 goals.
I would say so, yeah.
Will there be any point in signing any free agents? The players that are currently playing are doing just fine. You don't know how the offseason is going to shake out exactly, and if there's spots that need to be filled in, I can see them signing very minor free agents, no big free agents, no. There's something else on that here in Quebec that might be a problem. I think Quebec and Ontario are doing the same thing, and that is if you're a foreigner coming here, you cannot buy commercial residential property.
Yeah.
They just passed that. That's in their new stupid fucking bill. So if that's the case, and that's for the next 2 years, it's for the next 2 years. If that's the case for the next 2 years, free agents are probably don't want to come here to Montreal or to the Leafs either, because I think it's the same for them. And if not, then it's just in Quebec. But I think it's in Ontario as well.
Who was it that I just saw on Twitter spent $4 million on a house? Was that Matheson?
Matheson's from here. Matheson can buy all he wants.
$4 million on a house.
Maybe, but Matheson can do it because he's from here.
Yeah,
he's not a foreign.
No, yeah.
So unless you're from Quebec and you're coming, you're going to be charged. You're not allowed to buy your own home. You have to rent. I mean, and first of all, it's kind of dumb, but it's to fight the foreign ownership, and I guess But I mean, there should be clauses for outs for certain people.
For certain peoples or certain circumstances, but then everybody finds the loophole and then takes advantage of it. And I mean, out here we have so much more investment. It's gross.
Listen, this is Quebec, where this upcoming school season, if you're not teaching French. I don't know what the languages are, but basically foreign languages. All the foreign language departments and all the colleges and all that, they're useless. You're not allowed. It's illegal in Quebec to learn a foreign language in school. How ridiculous is that? Like, how fascist is that?
So I wouldn't be allowed to learn like German or something.
No.
There?
Where are you going to learn it? They're not allowed to teach it.
Jesus.
Not in colleges and CJEPs. Not allowed to teach it.
Wow.
That's what we've come down to. So World War II, where we fought for freedom against assholes like that, and here in as lambs that everybody is are allowing this garbage to happen. We're just allowing it. It's happening in the US, it's happening here, and none of it's good. Anyways, why did I get into politics? I don't even know why, but I'm not happy about it. Let's get off of this. Screw that one. Start a new one. Okay. Sheep guy dangled to who? They haven't even had lottery yet. What? Oh, right. Right. Okay. The lottery has to happen before we talk really about draft and moving up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know where we'll be. You don't know where anybody's going to be. PK. Who's PK? PK's new. Welcome, PK. Unless you're just changed your name, but welcome to the channel. I think Pitlick is real special. Also, I think no one on the Canadiens is talented enough for Drouin. Oh, you're a Drouin fan. That's cool. Listen, you're not going to find a lot of support on that here. Drouin's passes are too quick for most players. He makes good passes, though. Listen, that's his game, is to pass. Look at, we got 100 assists with Draisaitl. Drouin? That's a new one on me. Are we talking about someone else?
Drouin's passes are too quick for most players. Look how he got 100 assists with Draisaitl.
He doesn't play with Dry. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
No.
So you gotta let us know what you mean by that.
Yes, please.
Jethro says also, I love Slav, and I am sure he will be a stud too. Yeah, give the kid a few years, right? And I think that's the Habs' plan. Wasn't for him to be great at 18, great at 19, but maybe great at 22 and 23. I think that's their plan.
If you people look at the way he presents himself on the ice, he's mature in a lot of levels of his game. But then you see the KK resemblance too. He's got the awkwardness. He's still trying to catch up. Yeah, he's still trying to catch
that
up.
body. Yeah.
Oh, he must be in so much pain growing like that.
Growing pains, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
PK also says he would trade Slabcab, which is Slavkovsky, for Bedard on my wedding night. Now, I said it's not, would you trade Slavkovsky for Bedard? Because who wouldn't?
Mm-hmm.
Would you trade Bedard for Slavkovsky? Because the other guy has to make the trade. It's not a one-way street. So, of course, would you trade Slavkovsky for Bedard? I would. Of course I would.
In a heartbeat.
If I have Bedard, I'm not trading him for Slavkovsky. So I corrected that. PK, I don't think we agree with you that I think Guryanov is part of their plans going forward. I really do. Who needs him? Habs feel they do. That's for sure. They need to keep Pizzetta, but Pizzetta, there could be too much talent here for them to have room for him. I have to see, but I don't disagree with you completely. But I mean, look, he's an expendable kind of player.
Yeah, he's something that you want to keep around for that fourth line,
for depth, and for the fourth line,
for the energy. But he's not something that you have to have.
No.
If you could trade him and get something for him, you would. I think anybody would. He's got a lot of heart. I love that kid's heart.
I just got to disagree. The PK, we're not doing well tonight. I don't disagree with some of the guys you got in this list of our team is made up of, but when you got Gooley there, not Gooley, Belzile, when you put Pitlick in there, him too. He's he's depth. I think. I don't agree with you on that. I don't think Belzile's 31. I think 31. I mean, you're not rebuilding and going forward in 3 years, and the guy's going to be 34. It's not a thing.
Nope.
I gotta disagree with you there. I think MB that Montembeault. I like Montembeault. We're gonna agree with you there. I don't know if Pizzetta has got the talent to do what you're saying, but you never know, right? Definitely, if he scores more, increases his chances to stay. But I mean, he's a fringe kind of a guy, right? More of a fringe.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I really do. I don't dislike Pizzetta in any way, but I know
he's the guy you throw out there when your team is kind of down and needs a lift. He's the guy that you throw out there. He's going to get you energy. He's gonna finish his checks. He's gonna get that puck out of the corner like he did the other night.
He goes into the corners.
Yeah,
he's that type of player. But
he's not your first line player. He's your
but he's very expendable. I mean, got players like that. And it's not on him personally, but players like that. I mean, they're easy enough to find. Matt, I will agree with you on Matheson. Is PK Pitlick? You're not Pitlick.
Yeah.
Walter, we got new people tonight. How is that? Welcome in, Walter.
Wonderful.
No, I don't. What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Bob, yeah, I mean, I think we all pretty much in agreement on that. It's time for Drouin to go. I think the Canadiens have made up their mind. I don't think there's a question of whether they will sign Drouin again. It's a no. Leafs and Avalanche tied up at 1 after 2. Nice.
Delange will wake up in a little bit and start scoring.
Okay, wait a second. So PK, are you also Christian, the soccer player who makes 17 million? Are you who are you? Because you're not, I'm not.
I thought the soccer player you speak of made 13 million.
I don't play. I'm not playing those kind of games there.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, if you're a legit guy, fine, but don't pretend to be somebody else. Walter, you agree with what? What do you agree with what we just said? Awesome. Don't ask me what it was because I've already forgotten. Oh, you're not claiming? Yeah, are you? Who are you claiming to be? I'm lost now with you. Sorry. He says, you know what? What about a month ago, the Canadiens got some new babysitter because everyone's confidence went through the roof. Did you notice a tangible change in their demeanor and fight? Who's the babysitter? Who did they get new a month ago? Okay, enlighten us because I'm not sure who you're talking about. You're Pitlick? You're not Pitlick. So there's no. If you were Pitlick, you'd spell your name right. That's number one.
Do you need a timeout?
I think if you're Pitlick, yeah, that's the first thing you look at. You know how to spell your own name.
Stan the man says Tierney.
Yeah.
What about Tierney
either? Main reason is those guys are not listening and watching my channel. So that's number one. So anyway, that's fine. Chicago, Columbus, Arizona all won last night. We should have thrown the Pittsburgh game. But at least they won as well.
There was no change in the standings.
Okay, I'm not. Who are you talking about then? Meaning I don't know who he is. It is a mystery to me. They must have been a guy who knows how to talk to young guys. Not who are you talking about? Bob says, well, there are a bunch of kids on the, I think we're losing this. We're losing control here real quick. There are a bunch of kids on the Habs who are fighting for a roster spot next season. They are actually scoring more goals than the vets did. Small sample size of games, but still. Yeah, I mean, that's, there's the hope for the future, right? And these kids will, when they move out those vets, these are the kids who's going to, you're going to see Ullinen and Harvey Pinard, I think, regularly next season. There's two guys. Then you have, who am I missing? There's one or two down that are still down there. You're going to see some of these guys next season.
Sure. For sure you are.
New rookies.
Yeah.
We're talking Farrell. We may see Farrell this year.
There is a chance. I'm hoping what is it? With about 4 or 5 games left, he should be allowed. Isn't that what Matt said?
It depends on if when they get knocked out of that tournament.
Yeah.
Because it's one game you lose, you're out. So if they lose a game, he's out. Then he can sign in the LC and join.
Yeah.
Which is what they're expecting. And if it's too late, then it'll be next year. What can you do?
I agree with you, BL. Tierney was picked up on waivers about a month ago. Yes, he was.
Wait, PK, they did not get a new coach. No. I mean, if you're a real fan of the team, don't you think you'd know that? And listen, if you were a player, you'd know that. So what you're saying is teams cannot play well kind of in waves, right? They go through ups and downs. You're saying that can't happen? What happened to make them different? I don't know. I'm not in the room. What do you mean by a babysitter, though? Imagine NHL players today accepting being babysat. You think?
Not a bloody chance.
Not a bloody chance.
If Matt was here,
hey Jethro, have a
Matt
good night.
Here.
Thanks for being here. If Matt was here, he'd straighten out the PK guy. I don't know. It's usually my job to do that.
Adam's always here in our hearts. Yes, he is. He's always here in our hearts.
So PK, are they going uphill now? You're saying okay? Just say this. Prove to me that the Habs are going uphill now. Even though they did move up a spot, somebody passed them below. Philadelphia went below them by a point.
Oh no,
just a point. I'm not worried.
Yeah. But 1 point could be the determining factor, in who gets that fifth pick.
It could, but Philadelphia and Montreal both trending down. You got two teams below them that are starting to trend up, 3 even that are trending up, and I think that might actually, let Montreal move down again, the 1 spot, maybe 2.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that. I don't know how much. I don't know how much more people could expect them to go down. I don't think there's much more they could. PK, just so you know, any team in the NHL has a chance to win on any given night against any other team. It's called parity. Look it up. Okay, enough of that. Well, Rick, Habs have lost 7 straight. Now 1 win. It's uphill now, baby. Woo! Yep. One win out of the last 8 games, and they're going to win the cup, man.
Yep, here we go. Get the parade route ready.
If the Canadiens win 19 games straight, they will make it into the playoffs. They don't have 19 games left, so that's not happening. And who wins 19 games straight when you suck the bag all year? And who does that? All of a sudden, the last 19 games, we're unbeatable. Never happened, never will.
Nope.
Anyway, enough. Stop it. I wish I had more stuff to talk about so we could just change it. But I got to tell you, too, I'm really good at ignoring people when I want to, just so you know. Ask
Calgary,
Pete, who now has gone. I know Pete's not here anymore. You just
yeah.
ask him next. You see? Oh, when did we lose control of this live stream?
About 6 minutes ago.
Calgary has to go 10-4 in their last 14 games. That's not happening either. Downhill for the Flames, because even if Montreal won all 19 games, they're not going to do what he said when they had 19 games left. By the way, why do I say that? Because the teams ahead of them are going to win on some of those nights, and they're not going to advance, and that's what's going to happen. So there you go.
I don't know what happened to Calgary. I think it's
Disappointing, eh? If you're a Calgary Flame fan, got to be really disappointing.
When it comes to goaltenders, I was starting to become a bit of a Markstrom fan. I kind of liked his game, but
I think he was player of the week, though.
yeah.
So I guess he's playing better. I know he was
better,
not playing well for a while.
The team is not playing very well in front of him.
Yeah, so it's not always the goalie's fault.
No, not at all.
Well, we still got about 10 minutes left. Maybe longer if we're in the mood still. But yeah, so ask us some more questions. Anything you guys want to talk about, give a thumbs up if you're having a good time. I appreciate that. Pete does too. And we will talk about whatever that's reasonable. How's that?
We got 20 people in the chat right now. Right on. Thank you for joining us.
But okay, so now to know, just the last thing I'm going to say about this with this guy. You're ridiculous, because if they're on a 7-game losing streak, that's how you know, because they're going uphill. How do you go uphill losing 7 games? So his answer is every game they fought back. They didn't fight back the other night, 8-4. They didn't really fight back. Anyways, enough. That's it. We're moving on. Bob says, I was trying to make the point the other night about a lack of elite goalies in the league right now. That's a good question.
Yep.
I've never really thought about that. Has there ever been like a season where there's like an overabundance of elite goalies though? And I think here's something I could say to it, because I was talking about this last night. I think teams are going to be starting to go to a duo, a tandem, where you got 2 good goalies, and that's going to get you through. That's enough. And I think maybe that's why you're not seeing as many elite, because they're splitting time. It's not the same way of doing things. That make any sense? Or am I just blowing smoke up your ass? I don't know. Could be. I really do think that has something to do with it.
Yeah,
I know I'm humoring him. I'm stopping.
I'm finally coming around to this 2 goalie system. It does make much more sense to have 2 guys that are fresh and 2 good goaltenders versus trying to run like a Hellebuck and then a Riddick. Like, you're going to play Hellebuck for 60 games and Riddick for what, 20?
Okay. Sometimes, although I imagine sometimes teams aren't going to have a choice, because you're going to have a goalie like a Hellebuck. I think, you're going to have no choice, really. A guy like that needs to play. So I guess that's what it is. Our team's going to stop drafting guys like Hellebuck? I doubt that. So.
No.
So yeah,
no,
I guess.
Would you turn down a Hellebuck?
No, I mean that's it. You might not play him as much, but you're still going to play him more than the other guy.
50, 55 games.
So but I think in general, teams are looking at trying to have 2 guys of equal, talent, and any given night, you're confident that your guy is, whatever.
With the amount of goaltending injuries that we have nowadays, it's just, and the way they get run, it just makes sense to have 2 good goaltenders and a third one in the farm.
And with injuries and everything, right? With injuries, I mean, it's Bob says also Markstrom was amazing in Vancouver, then goes to Calgary and has been just average.
That's just what I mean, Markstrom. Bob.
I guess that's right.
Yeah, unless he played Montreal, because we owned him when he was in Vancouver.
But not in Calgary. It's kind of the opposite, right? In Calgary, he seems to own us. I find, anyway. BL says, what coaches get a pink slip if they miss the playoffs? Who are we talking about? Us? We're missing the playoffs. So what are you talking about?
No, I think he's talking about maybe the
Calgary, you talking about?
Ottawa coach, Calgary coach.
Oh,
You
those
know,
guys.
those guys.
Ottawa.
Ottawa
And
for sure.
it looks like there's going to be I didn't announce this, but it looks like there's going to be a new ownership in Ottawa soon because Bettman said, I don't know if it was within a month or really soon. There's going to be a big announcement about the Ottawa team. And then there's news about Ryan Reynolds gathering money, or
He's
so
got
it looks,
350 million.
yeah. So it looks like there's going to be something there with a new ownership. You got to figure the coach might pay the price there, right? They'd change the GM, change the coach. That could happen. So we'll have to see. Which other coaches? You got any ideas? I don't.
I think, yeah, the Ottawa guy, Daryl Sutter's. I don't know the way things are trending for him right now. He's a hurting unit. He could be out of a job. The Winnipeg coach, who's
coaching there now? Maurice? No.
What's his name? Can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't either. Paul Maurice in Florida, maybe?
Yeah.
Although Florida might, they could still make the playoffs with a wild card.
They're could.
They're right there. They just, with a.
I don't want them to.
No, I don't want them to either.
I don't think anybody here wants them to.
No, but they could. That's the problem. Bob says
Daryl. Yeah, he's talking about Daryl Sutter in
Calgary. Daryl Sutter in Calgary. I doubt it. Maybe his arrogant act might already be wearing thin in Cowtown. That might be the problem, right? He's done a couple of questionable things with players in his press conferences there.
Yeah,
it's questionable that you want players to follow you, and like when you treat them like that, really, it might have worked at one point in the NHL. It doesn't work today.
It worked probably in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, and earlier, but it don't work today.
No, and that's the kind of coach he is, right? He's that old school coach. So I don't know how well that's going to work for him. Holy shit, the chat's just blowing up.
Is it? Yeah, looks, there's some there. There's some. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can get to these. Campbell was very good in Toronto, but terrible in Edmonton. He was better in Toronto than Edmonton, but
yeah,
maybe Montreal ruined him.
It's like, go figure. What happened to him?
Oh, it's a fit. It's maybe not a good fit in the room for him.
Maybe
for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I think as a lot of times that's just what it is. But I mean, maybe it's something else. I don't know if Campbell was a little overrated. Maybe became a little overrated, but he played pretty good overall in Toronto. Just couldn't win the big game.
Yeah.
So Calgary has lost like 14 games in overtime. All their games are close. They had big changes in offseason. Gaudreau, Tkachuk gone. I mean, yeah, that did not help.
No.
Not being able to re-sign Gaudreau and Tkachuk. The trades, while they looked good, bringing in Huberdeau and then signing Kadri, in the end, didn't really work out. So, yeah. But, I mean, what could they do after losing those two guys?
Well, that's so much. Yeah. I think that just kind of hurt them, losing Gaudreau and Tkachuk.
Yeah, it did. And how do you recover from that in a year? They tried, and they made it
good, but
they made a good try, but it didn't work. I mean, it just didn't work. Bob says also Torts could get canned in Philly. That could happen. And if
he's only been there for what, this year and last?
Yeah, but I think he could. Because they're doing a rebuild, so it's like I could see it. And they changed the GM, right? So I could see Briere saying, "Yeah, I want somebody else." That could happen with new GM. A lot of times they want their coach, so they won't can him like in the off season. I don't think it'll be before that, but and Sheldon Keefe, if the Leafs don't do well, Sheldon Keefe is going to pay the price too.
I think Keefe and Dingledorf upstairs has got to go.
Yeah, but we're talking about coaches, so we're just talking about coaches. Biel says Berube in St. Louis might be up. they're in a rebuild too. It could happen. I don't know.
It could.
Bonuses in Winnipeg. You know what?
That's
I don't
right.
know. I don't know. I kind of think Bonus might survive it. I don't know. Yeah, we all kind of
I
agree.
could see him getting through on
First
that
year.
one.
This is his first year. I think he survives it if they don't go through do well. Hey, Massimo, how you doing, Massimo? What position do you think the Habs will finish at the end of the season, and are there any prospects that catch your attention other than Bedard and Fatilli? Well, they'll finish low. Right now, they're sitting at 6 from the bottom. I think they finish anywhere from that 6 to 4. I think anybody they get in the top 8 is probably pretty good. So I don't know specifically, to be honest.
The one that I'm cheering for on that one is Massimo is
Carlson.
Leo Carlson.
I don't think he drops down far enough, though.
No,
I mean, if they're 4th, maybe. If they're 4th, right? But I don't, And if Michkov drops, right, he'll go up one. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say. I sure would love to get him on our team. I think he would do very well for us, but whatever. Let it go, right? Billy Bishop. Is that
Billy Bishop? Yeah, I know. It's like from Billy Bishop Goes to War. Who would you guys take if we get the 5th overall pick? Oh, I mean, I haven't gotten there yet. Like I say, everybody asks me this. I get there when we're closer to the draft. Let's see where we get the pick, and then I'll be able to give you a better idea from.
See, after May 8th, on May 9th, that would be the day to then start doing your
Then when you know where they're going to pick,
exactly,
then you know where to start looking. Hope Caden Primo plays well for Laval to show that he is ready to play for the NHL. I personally think another year in Laval. I don't think next year up here. For me, with Primo, I mean, they're going to look at him in training camp. That's for sure. But I don't know.
No, I think he stays. I think he stays another year or two in Laval.
Do I have any mods out there? If there's any mods out there, do your jobs with this kid. You're allowed to. You got the controls. What about the Edmonton coach? If the Oil missed the playoffs, does he go too? I'd say probably. The thing is it his fault? I don't know if it's totally his fault. They don't give him the horses,
See, I like the Edmonton coach.
Who's that? McClellan?
No.
Who's? Oh, wait. Eakins, Dallas Eakins?
No. He's a nobody. He's just a.
Who's the coach, Bob? We don't know who it is.
It's not that we don't know. It's just we don't remember.
Well, I gave 2 guesses.
Yeah, those are both great guesses. They're previous coaches.
Thank you. I appreciate that you like my guesses.
It was a very good try, but unsuccessful on your part.
Bob says he doesn't like him. He looks like he's 12 years old, whoever it
is. Yeah, he does look like a kid, but he even behind the bench, the way he watches the game, like he still coaches the game, but he still gets excited like a kid. Yeah,
I know the face now. Yeah.
Right.
Japheth says the new Sportsnet rankings have Michkov 3, Carlson 4, and that was posted earlier today for what it's worth.
Jay Woodcroft.
Jay Woodcroft. Right. Yeah, Bob just put it in there too. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Billy Bishop says Kent Hughes told Struble he has a plan for him. Left-hand defense is loaded. I think Struble can play both. What's his plan? Don't know. And, there's a plan. It may include trading him. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't know what injuries are going to happen and stuff. It's good to have guys like that around in case of something bad happens. So I don't know. It's too new to tell yet. I haven't heard anything.
Michkov is ahead of Carlson?
Michkov's been 3 for a while, yeah.
Okay.
And listen, the Michkov dropping, Michkov dropping won't show here in the lists because they don't know if he's going to drop.
Yeah.
Right. So he's not going to show that. That's not going to show on the list. It's going to be just, we'll see a drop at the draft and drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he? I don't know. I guess maybe he got tired of me ignoring him.
Somebody did something because all his comments going back are gone.
No, I still see them.
I don't see them at all.
Yeah, no, I still see them up there, but not for a bit now. A few minutes. Lucas booted him. I said, do your jobs. That's the kind of
Thank
thing.
you, Lucas.
That's the kind of thing you mods are supposed to do. We got to have a mod meeting. So sorry about that for not acknowledging that part of it. But we do have to have a mod meeting.
Yeah.
Pete, aren't you a mod?
No.
You should be. I'll have to give you.
Well, you'll have to correct that, won't you?
I'll have to correct that. I thought I had done that. I don't know why I thought I did if I didn't.
No, it's okay. And thank you.
Thanks, Lucas. Thank you.
I was going to get rid of him a long time ago. I was trying to figure out how to get rid of him.
Well, I figured I'd give him a chance to turn around, and I was just ignoring him. And a lot of times when you ignore people, they'll just leave.
Yeah, your patience is much greater than mine.
I know how to ignore things.
I can't.
I can ignore things.
He was after about his 15th text. It was just like you knew that he was just.
Yeah, I was just bypassing. I saw the peak bypassed by. I'm not even reading it. Nothing. Screw him. Anyways, he's someone who poses as somebody that they're not. Yeah. I don't like that. So, let me see.
Oh, Massimo. I like what Massimo's going with. I've heard the Habs have high value on Leo Carlson, and that's yes.
I think they'd like to get and be happy to get pretty much any one of the top picks. Maybe not Michkov because of that situation. Other than that, I think, why, be happy to be where they are. Higher they can get, the better. But, there's a lot of good picks, coming up in the first probably 8 picks. So. I like Bob. He says, I hope he gave a thumbs up before he got booted. Yeah. The Hockey News has Machar rated as number 1 Habs prospect. I don't know that I agree that necessarily, but I mean, he's right up in that group anyway, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? The Hockey News, a little bit suspect, I think, over the last couple of seasons that I've noticed some of the stuff that they put out. Yeah. So that's for me.
Oh, a little bit further down, he's got Waugh, Mayu, and Kidney are rated at 6, 7, and 8. Interesting.
Well, I'm telling you, that's why I said the Hockey News is a little bit suspect with their whoever's writing over there. I don't know. I've noticed it more than a few times over the last couple of seasons, at least, that like, who's writing that? That's stupid, that kind of thing. And there you go. Rick has put up with me for ages. He will put up with anything, I suppose, Bob says. Bob, you're not a problem, believe me. Canes and 4, 8 Canes and 4. How you doing? I don't put up with my wife. No, I do actually put up with her a lot. She puts up with me. The fact that we don't live together anymore makes it all the better. You guys don't understand.
Too funny.
Thanks. It was Lucas that booted him, BL. I'm not sure where Lucas is. I think he booted himself too.
And he's back.
Oh boy. Habs Guru, you got the con. Do the job. Do it permanently.
So Hudson, Beck, and Farrell are 3, 4, and 5. Machar is below Hudson, eh? Wow. I don't really follow that Hockey Digest, but or Hockey News or whatever.
Who's number 2 then?
Yeah, who is number 2? Because you
Machar?
rattled off.
Who didn't we see there?
If
Who's number
Bashar is
2?
number 1, who would be above Hudson? Between Hudson and Bashar?
Right. You're missing one there, BL. Yeah, just keep doing it, Lucas. Just keep doing it when he comes back. We're going soon anyway. I mean, we're going soon. We're a little over already, right, Pete?
Lucas, he's a dumbass. He's never going to learn.
Yeah. So, but we'll be gone.
To you all for my chosen words, but
we'll be gone when he comes back by that time, and hopefully he won't come back in. Whoever that is, somebody who likes to pose as somebody else.
Yeah, he's Pitlick. Should have asked him how his face was feeling.
He's Picklick. Always question somebody who can't spell their own name.
Yeah, no kidding. Massimo, what contract would you keep Drouin at? Personally, I wouldn't really even consider, but watch him leave Montreal and go put up so many points somewhere else once the eyes are off him. Yeah,
but who cares? But I mean, who cares, right?
Yeah, at least we're rid of him. Look at it that way, Massimo. At least we're finally rid of him, and we can just keep rolling. And hopefully we never make that kind of a mistake again.
What's that again?
About the Drouin contract.
Oh, yeah. No, just there's zero chance. By the way, Guru, no worries. Don't worry about it. It was taken care of anyway. So wait, now he's saying 2 is Hudson then. 2 is Hudson, 3 is Beck, 4 is Powell.
I get it. No, yeah. Okay.
That makes more sense.
I would put Hudson above Bashar, but
I think, yeah. But I mean, I think Bashar is up in there, so
Well, he is. And if he's doing that without Slavkovsky, just imagine when you put the 2 together again.
Yeah, if that's how it works out. I mean, again, we'll see how all these. But I mean, there's so many kids that it's crazy, eh?
I know.
Who knows who's going to be?
It's exciting though, too, right?
Yeah,
like
it is.
You can't not be excited for this team.
Yeah, no, it is definitely. Lucas says he'd be happy if Drouin finds success elsewhere. He doesn't hate him, just a shitty contract. It's more than a shitty contract. I don't hate him. I don't hate him either. I don't. But it's more than a shitty contract. I don't care. Like, even if he was saying making 2.5, right? 2.5, and then 3 years in a row, right at the end, near the end, or even halfway through the season, he's gone for the rest of the time. Wasn't there for the Stanley Cup run. And like that, there's something wrong.
Yeah. I just leave it at he doesn't have the heart that the rest of our players have.
Yeah.
The drive.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to have it.
It's the culture that he doesn't have the kind of personality that our coaches or not our coaches, our management team are trying to bring in.
The character part of it.
He doesn't have
seem to be there. It doesn't seem to be there, right? BL, I think the reason Dobas is not rated is they rate goalies separately. I want to say that. So goalies have their own list, so he wouldn't be in the. He'd probably not be in that list. Hudson was always a high ceiling prospect that really wasn't ever in doubt, even before the draft. No, but the thing that was in doubt was the floor to the ceiling, which they said was like one of the biggest differential of any player coming in. Is what would the floor be? Does he hit the floor? Does he hit the ceiling?
Yeah.
Right. Basically, that's it. If he makes it to the NHL, he's probably. I think he's grown 2-3 inches, so he's done that. I think, he's going to hit the ceiling. I don't expect Lane Hudson to join the Habs, though, straight away. He's got another year, I would think, at least in college. And, then who knows? Best for him to stay. He might be a guy that's best for him to stay 3 years, 4 years, because he'll work out a lot. He'll build muscle in the gym. Much more.
What do you think about Joshua Waugh? Do you think he'll be up next year?
There's potential there for a while. Yeah. I still say more likely in Laval, but these are the guys like we were saying before. Who's going to be on the roster once they move some of these veterans in the offseason or whatever? Yeah, it's guys like that, right? They'll slug it out in training camp. Seal wins.
I just don't want him to become expendable. Like, the kid's got heart.
If he's good enough, he's not going to be expendable. If
No.
they say, well, we think we got better, then he's expendable. So I think if he plays well, I don't think he's expendable. Goalies are not separate on a futures list. Okay. I don't know. Then I don't know why he's not there. If the Habs pick 5th, I'd absolutely take a C. That says Bob. Either Smith or Jaeger, assuming Carlson won't be there at the 5th pick. I would think too that they do that.
Yeah. Who was it? Who was it that said it? I think it was Knuckles. Knuckles was talking with Gorton and Hughes at one point. I think it was Gorton, and Gorton was like, "We got to get bigger. We got to get much bigger." And it started with Slavkovsky last year.
Yeah,
and that's their mindset, is they need to get big down the middle.
Yeah. Oh, they're not. I don't think they're. I mean, if it's not Bedard, I think they rather draft a big guy than Bedard.
Yeah.
Bedard they'll take. He's smaller, but
Oh yeah, Bedard hands down. But there's the likelihood of that happening is very slim to none. So
yeah, they'll take the best player available at the time of the draft. I think that's what I think they'll do.
exactly.
Mike, I don't think free agents are a thing for them this year, so it doesn't really matter.
Speaking of best players available, has anybody heard anything about what was the kid that Montreal passed on instead of and took Slavkovsky? What was that guy's name again?
Right,
Shane Wright. I haven't heard much about him lately.
Yeah, he's playing in junior.
He's in Seattle. Oh, he's in juniors.
Yeah, he's playing for. They traded his junior team. The Frontenacs traded him somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. They were doing well. He was doing well.
Okay.
It's just he's got a different track. That's all. Listen, Slavkovsky, not
He'll
like
still be good. He'll still be a good player.
There's nothing wrong, but I don't follow him because why? We didn't draft him.
Right, playing in Windsor. That's why I haven't heard anything about him. Okay, makes sense.
BL was saying I'm a big Kidney fan, but Roy at 6 as a 2-time World Junior surprised me. What do you mean at 6 on the list? I think that's because he's changed into more of a two-way center.
He plays a 200-foot game.
200-foot game, and his scoring might be a little down. That might be why. I don't think it makes him less of a prospect, though.
Yeah, whoever coached him in juniors discovered that he is a Philip Deneau. Joshua Waugh is a Philip Deneau on steroids. Like, he's much better, but
that's the way to put it.
Yeah, Waugh will surprise people.
Phil Deneau that can score.
Yeah,
it's like big numbers, not
Yeah. And can hit.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got the 200-foot game. Like, I love watching him. He's fantastic.
Lucas, by the way, says Joy not being there for the cup run has always put a bad taste in his mouth. I think for a lot of people, it didn't help how we already were talking about. Didn't help.
No.
Canes in 4 says, random question: when goalies get shot in the face with the puck, do you think they feel some pain, or are the masks well built? Just been wondering. I think there's some. Yeah, I think they can feel a little bit, but I think they're pretty much they absorb really well.
The shot goes through the mask very well.
But it's not the problem of whether they feel pain, right? Because if it's the shot in the face, it's how the neck can move and all that. So there's a danger of a concussion from that. And that's why when usually they'll check the goalie and see if he needs to go into concussion protocol. It doesn't happen often, but some goalies do get taken out and looked at after getting a shot in the head like that. But I think the masks are made pretty good now compared to when we were young, right? I mean, I think it's very different.
Remember Hasek's old cage?
Their BL's got a good way to put it. It'll rattle them. They get rattled, but I mean, it doesn't really hurt the same way. Wright's playing in Windsor with the Spitfires. Brett got hurt right after he was traded and missed a few weeks when he was traded in the juniors. That I didn't know. Kidney and Roy could be on a collision course in the QMJHL playoffs. They could be, yeah. And they're both two of the best, if not the. Well, I know last year they were up there and leading in spots. I don't know how Kidney's doing, but I know he's doing really well.
Yeah,
I don't know who's leading in the queue.
He's performing well, very well.
I don't know like who the leader, how like that's working out there in the queue. All right, so yeah, I think we're gonna call it a night. We're planning to do an hour. Yeah, this was fun. I had a lot of fun tonight. I'm glad we ended up doing it.
Should we let everybody know that we're going to be doing the after game show on Saturday?
Yes. So we have decided our next post game show will be this Saturday after the Tampa Bay Lightning game. So we're going to do post game, roughly 20 minutes to a half hour after the Tampa game. We'll be on. And we'll do we've done 2 hours both times. So
yeah. So get your tequila ready, boys.
Yeah.
Girls.
So we'll have a fun conversation. It's a late night. It's a little bit more lenient. No, still can't swear too much. But yeah, we'll do the after show then, and hopefully you guys will join us for that.
Yeah.
So be prepared. Get a good night's sleep the night before.
Yeah, you ask, we bring it. So there you go, people. Good night, PK.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome, Guru. Like, listen, no worries. And yeah, best with that. Hopefully we'll see you there, but no worries if you can't make it. It's definitely understandable.
Night, Bob.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna check out. So yeah, have a good night, everybody. Tomorrow we're back for the Florida game. Florida game tomorrow. I'm back to do that. So hopefully you guys will join me for the 2 shows, and I'll see you then. Until then, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. And for me and Pete, have a good night.
Good night.
We'll see you next time. Ciao, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye-bye.